What's going on, YouTube? If you're new to this channel, my name is Damien, and I made this channel to produce content to inspire and motivate you to be the best version of yourself, okay? So the purpose of this video really is geared towards younger men. It's to give advice to younger men. Maybe you're in your young 20s or you're in your teens and you don't necessarily have a male role model to guide you and give you advice, okay? If that's you, you're not alone. I was exactly like that. I had a mother. I was raised in a single parent household, and my mother held the fort down, and she served as a great example. My mom oftentimes worked 2 jobs. I've seen my mom have career switches, you know, when she's gone to different industry. She's been in real estate, and I've seen her become a better version of herself, and her kids had that positively impacted us watching her and just seeing her example. And oftentimes I think about her tenacity and her discipline and her determination in reaching her goals. That had a profound impact on me, and I appreciate that. But I think that it would have served me so much if I would have had a male role model in my life to give me advice as a man growing up in this world. You know, and to talk to me about the small things like puberty, right? How to deal with puberty, or how to talk to girls, right? Or just responsibility and what society expects of me as a man, okay? So that is the goal of this video today. That's the purpose. As I thought about doing this, I felt the most effective way for me to accomplish the goal of giving you advice was to think, Damien, if you could go back and give your young 20-year-old self or your teenage self some advice, what would you do? Now, a lot of these things that I'm about to share with you today, I learned these things after I moved out and after I got out the house. So I feel like, man, it would have really been beneficial for me if I had learned these things before I actually moved. It would have set me up for success. So let's dive into it. Number 1, ownership. Damien, you have to take ownership for your life, meaning that you're responsible for your own life. You have to take responsibility for your own life because there's no one else who's going to do that for you. There's no book, there's no manual, there's nothing that's going to give you a plan, a specific plan that's tailor-made for you. Nothing's going to tell you what career path you're supposed to go down. There's nothing that's going to tell you exactly who you're supposed to marry or what city you're supposed to live in when you become an adult. That's why it's good to have older people in your life who could give you advice, you know, and point you down the right direction. A lot of times when we don't have older people to guide us and give us some wisdom, then we're taking our cues from our friends around us and our peers. But the issue with that is they're the same age as us, and they're trying to figure stuff out themselves. They don't really know. As you're thinking about ownership and taking responsibility for your life, then here's something that you can do. Think about the things that you like to do and things that you might be good at, okay? And also ask for feedback from people around you, maybe your friends or your family, okay? Because a lot of times what happens is we might think that we have a skill at doing something, or we might be good at doing something, and then other people might not think so, right? So it's like reality might tell a different story, okay? And the good thing is you're still young, right? Meaning that you have less responsibility and more time to get better at things that you might like to do. But you have to be open to feedback, because if you are, then you can make those adjustments and you can get better. Number 2, initiate. Damien, you have to learn to initiate things, meaning that you have to learn to do things without being told. You may have already picked this up, but people expect more of you as you become an adult. There's more of an understanding that you don't really know things when you're younger, so people are going to tell you when to do things. But there's less of an understanding as you get older. People expect more from you as you get older. And one of those things is initiating, right? People don't like to tell adults, you know, or young adults, that they need to start doing the things that they should know that they're supposed to do. When there's a clear expectation of responsibilities, the things that you are supposed to do, when that has been clearly communicated to you, it's a burden when people feel like, man, they have to tell you to do those things, right? So this is why you need to initiate. If you have responsibilities, do them without being told. Also, it might save you a lot of frustration because you might feel frustrated when people are telling you things over and over again. But really, it's because you might not be initiating the things that you know you should be doing. When you learn to initiate things, it builds self-confidence because you know that at the end of the day, that you're gonna get things done, okay? And then, as far as others, it gives them trust that you're a reliable person and that you're gonna get those things done, okay? Without being told to do them. Here's what you can do to practice initiating things, okay? If you have responsibilities, maybe chores in your house, you got kitchen duty or you bathroom duty or things like that, practice initiating those things without being told to do them, okay? Homework, right? Practice doing those things by yourself. If you're in the classroom, right? Learn to practice and raise your hand. I know this can be a scary thing, right? When I was younger, I didn't really have a lot of confidence. So it was really hard for me to, put myself out there and initiate and give an answer when a teacher asked about, material and things like that. But I think this would have really been helpful if I had the mindset, I need to get better at initiating things because it's going to be better for me when I get older. So yeah, use that as an opportunity. If you're in class, initiate, raise your hand, right? Or, another thing you can do is initiate conversation, with people that you might not know. It's practice at the end of the day. Number 3, accountability. Damien, you have to learn accountability, meaning you have to take responsibility for your actions and the effect that those actions might have on the people around you, okay? Learn to accept the truth. And the truth can really hurt, okay? Because it disrupts delusion, meaning that we might think that we are in a place in our life and reality might tell a different story, okay? So we have to learn to take accountability. I'll give you an example of this. Back in 2020, I had gained a lot of weight and I had really tricked myself into thinking that I hadn't gained all that weight. In 2020, as you guys might remember, that the gyms were closed down and, a lot of people had gained weight during that time period because, we didn't have gyms, right? So I had, gotten used to sitting around, eating snacks, eating all kind of good food and not moving. I had gotten used to that, right? So one day I had looked myself in the mirror, right? Because I got into this mode of thinking that I hadn't really gained all that weight. But one day I was looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, I looked down at my stomach. I was like, okay, things have really gotten out of hand. So I really chose to accept the truth at that moment, okay? But that was powerful because I had accepted reality. I had taken power, right? And I had decided to do something there. Because if I didn't do something at that moment, I would have been going down the same path, the same trajectory, and I would have gained more weight. I can't even imagine how much weight I would have gained if I hadn't stopped right there, accepted the truth, and decided to do something different, okay? So because I decided to do something different, I went down a different path, okay? I chose to take responsibility for my actions, stop what I was doing, and go in a different direction, okay? I had gained power because I accepted responsibility. I had accepted the truth. Even though it hurt, accepting that I had gained all that weight, I had gained power in that moment because I accepted responsibility and therefore decided to do something different, okay? That doesn't just apply to health. That can apply to different areas in your life. So learn to examine your life and look at all areas in your life and really see, okay, how am I doing? One thing you can do, like I was telling you earlier, with ownership, right? Asking other people, for feedback as far as things that you might be good at. Well, ask for feedback from other people and see how you might be doing in these particular areas, right? And if reality tells a different story, you have an opportunity to take responsibility and take power. Even though it might hurt, you have an opportunity to take accountability and take power in your own hands and go down the right path. It's opportunity, okay? So learn how to do that. Feedback is a really big thing as far as like growth in your life and becoming a man and becoming an adult, and especially like in the area of accountability. Yeah, that's huge. So yeah, ask for feedback. Look at all areas in your life. Ask for feedback and, you know, go down a different path if things are not, if reality is telling a different story. The next piece of advice that I would give is awareness. Damien, you have to be aware of your emotions, okay? This is really important, and I think it's really important to understand this. Whatever room you walk in, your emotions have an impact on that room, on the vibe of that room, okay? So if you're happy or you're sad or you're stressed out, you know, it has an impact on that room, okay? And then also, other people's emotions have an impact on that room, all right? So being aware of yourself is really important. And then the second piece, being aware of other people. Learn how to read the room. Learn how to read the emotions of other people. Really, in a nutshell, okay, this has to do with emotional intelligence, okay? It's having self-awareness first, being aware of how you feel in your emotions, and then the second part, being aware of other people, okay? I learned about emotional intelligence in my career path. You know, at my old job, I told you guys about a story where I joined a company back in 2016 after I had graduated college. When I was there at that job, I learned about emotional intelligence, but I think this would have been really helpful if I had learned about this early. Okay, so when it comes to this subject, here's what you can do to get better at awareness, okay? Learn how to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, man, how am I feeling right now? How have I been feeling today? Just learn to be observant. One thing you can do too is journal, because it gives you, you know, if you get into a habit of journaling, it gives you an objective view of how you've been feeling on a day-to-day basis. And obviously it's better if you learn to be more consistent with that. Learn to be observant. Just sit back and watch and observe people and observe how they might be feeling and what they might be doing to show those emotions. Today, I really feel that there's more of a need to practice being aware. There's more of a need to practice self-awareness and really just being aware of our surroundings, because we have more screens to distract us. We have cell phones or more video games or more technology to deal with. It could be more technology. It could definitely be a blessing and a curse. Last thing is discipline. Damien, you need discipline. I'm a veteran. I joined the military. I joined the Navy when I was 19 years old. And this really was, it's really disrupted my life, right? Because being in the military is just a different way of living, right? I was introduced to routine, you know, following orders, and yeah, just a whole new level of discipline. And those, even though I'm out now today, that has had a really positive impact on me and my life. So to this day, I'm a man of routine. I think it's easier for me to really get things done because I look forward to routine. I set things up in my life as far as like the gym or, you know, morning routine or schedule and things like that. It's really easy for me because I value discipline. And I know the secret of doing the same thing over and over. Okay, it develops consistency. But if I would have really learned this as a teenager, man, that would have been a game changer for me, right? So, young men, you have to be disciplined. All right, y'all, I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you found value in it. If so, please like and subscribe and tune into more content that is meant to inspire and motivate you to be the best version of yourself so that you might have a positive impact on this world.